Alright guys, this is going to be a short video. This is going to be the last in the series on the South Bend lathe haul or hoard or whatever I called this series. I don't even remember. But this was the deal where I was able to strip off all the parts I wanted off of a large old South Bend lathe and this mill. I think it was called a Supermill or something like that, which I was later able to identify as being identical to a particular model of Slovakian mill called, boy, I can't even pronounce it, but I think it's like P-V-R-O-M-A-J-S-K-A. So I'm probably slaughtering that. I'll have to put it up on the screen, this correct spelling and model number that this mill was. And if you want to see what the mill looked like before I took it all apart, you can go to the first in this series and part one of this series, and you'll be able to see that mill. But I realized I was cleaning up the shop here, kind of organizing. I had a lot of this stuff come in, and realized that I never actually showed the tail end of what ended up coming out of that whole haul. And it was just a few odds and ends. A couple of these items may have already been on previous videos. If they were, I apologize, but this is just a couple of levers. There's a couple of the dials. I mean, they're going to be very, I'm sure, unique to this mill and not much else. Here's the handle for the knee, to elevate the knee. And it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's got 6 slots evenly spaced, equidistant apart. I don't know whether or not that's how the bridge ports are. I know it's not going to. It's completely different than what my Wells Index has, which is 2 pins that interlock. So I don't know whether or not that's unique to this mill. If it's unique to this mill, then it's probably going to be something a lot tougher for me to sell on eBay. This looks like it may have been broken off and repaired. That doesn't look like that's original there, but it's a good usable handle. I even took the drawbar. Figured since I was taking that out, taking that quick change adapter assembly out of here. So this is I've got a drawbar from that mill. This is the plate that I was able to get off the side when I was trying to figure out how to take it apart. Turns out I didn't have to take this plate off, but since I already had it apart anyways, I looked at it and I realized this is all cast aluminum. So I think I already checked and this is aluminum. Oh, it's not. That's steel. Alright. I don't know why I thought that was aluminum. And then I think I only had 1 or 2 of these handles off last time. So now I've gotten all the handles off. This is the only one that was broken, and actually it's not even broken. The handle's missing, so I'm assuming maybe it broke off and then somebody already removed the stud. So it'd be easy enough to put a new handle, crank handle on that. These are nice, solid, heavy hand wheels. These are nice replacement hand wheels. I mean, I'm figuring as long as the bore's the right size, you could probably use these on something else. There you go there, that one there. See, it's a nice, it's well made. Given my problems with the Wells Index spindle shaft issue, I sure as heck am second guessing myself for not taking this whole mill. Anyways, this one was held on with a pin. But, so I'm going to hold on to those for now. Maybe at some point I'll list them, or I don't know. Just didn't see the point in leaving them for the scrapper. And then the other thing I stole out of the, well, I didn't steal. It was part of the deal. I could take it off. If I could take it out, take it off, unbolt it, carry it out. It was part of the deal. So this is the whole spindle and quill assembly from that mill. And it's interesting how similar this is to a Bridgeport or the Wells Index for that matter. But it's, you know, there are critical differences that will not allow me to put this in there. I even contemplated whether or not I'd be able to use this spindle, but this whole part right here, this is actually a different dimension. There are a different number of keys on this spline shaft, splines I should say. 2, 4, 6 on this one. I think there's 7 on the wells, or I already checked it, and there's no way that's going to work. It's funny because this looks down inside here. It looks like it's just disgusting. There's a ton of grease in there, and it looks like it's been catching dirt, and I can see the actual bearing open in there. And even that being said, this sounds better. Well, maybe not much, but it actually sounds better than my wells. The other issue is, of course, this is a number 40 taper on this, so I would be converting the mill to 40 taper if I decided, if I was able to actually make this work in there. But I'm not going to be able to. So, but I was, wondering. I wonder if there's something I could make with this. Maybe I could find a use for this. The other possibility is I could probably be a real Santa Claus to somebody who has one of these mills with a broken spindle. I could sell this whole assembly on eBay. To somebody who had one of these mills with a broken spindle, I could probably get $200 or $300 for this. So I don't know. Maybe I'll just clean this up a little bit, throw it on eBay, and oh, that was the other thing too. I was wondering about I wonder what the bearing sizes are. Whether or not these bearings in here are the same size, but it almost looks to me like I could see the top of this bearing. It almost looks to me like that top bearing is a roller bearing. So the design of this must be different. So anyways, yeah, so turn it into a precision grinder. Could see that. Make some mounts that could clamp this right in down rigid onto something that attaches to, say, like the carriage on the lathe, and rig up a motor to drive this in, because you've got a very precision spindle here, and could turn this into a almost like a tool post grinder. One hell of a tool post grinder, actually. Well, anyways, I'd be interested if any of you guys could think of alternate uses for this, or if you think that it should just go to somebody with one of these machines, willing to pay the price, of course. And then this little another one of these things. I found one of these in the Wells Index cabinet when I bought the Wells Index. It was a larger version of this, so I could tell, even though the label's barely visible, that it's the same company. And this is just a kind of a wedge that, as you tighten this bolt in and out, it allows these to slide against each other, and actually creates a wedging action for lifting. And it seems like these are designed to lift some really, really heavy stuff. If you had if you had 4 of them, you could probably even use them maybe for leveling machine, like a lathe. And it looks to me like maybe that's what this may have been doing at some point in its life, because there's a hole in the top here that looks like it was added to maybe bolt something down to this. But unfortunately I only got the one, so I could just use that for maybe like a makeshift jack or something like that to hold up the end of a part when working on something. And then there was just some chemicals. These were going to be thrown out or whatever, or flea market items. Starco chemical window shine glass cleaner, ready to use, non-streak ammoniated. My experience has been that these kind of things usually work pretty well. They're usually mostly just ammonia and water. This is almost empty. A little bit of motor oil. A little bit of motor oil. This is kind of neat. This is like a lab type style dispenser. You squeeze this and it basically, it's got like a siphon action, and it's for like spot applying whatever chemicals in here, and this particular one is clearly marked isopropanol alcohol, and that's certainly what's in it. So I'll probably keep that over by the sink, and maybe if I cut myself or something, I want to clean the cut, disinfect it, I can use that. This is nice. This is an old gallon deodorized liquid wrench. The super penetrant, melts the rust away. Plus these bonus benefits: add to crankcase oil, quiets noisy valve lifters, and removes power robbing deposits. I don't think you do that anymore, but actually it does have kind of a pleasant smell. It's kind of funny. Does liquid wrench normally smell like that? I don't recall. Well, anyways, this is an old can, kind of damaged here. I wish this was an old motor oil can. Some of those trade for decent money. People collect them, put them up on a shelf. But this has probably got about this much liquid wrench left in it, so that might last me a while. And then there was this, again, almost empty gear oil. Actually, this had more in it, but I've been using some of it. And another, this one is another Superflow motor oil, which if I didn't have this one, I might not even know what this was. The label's pretty bad, but this one's pretty full, unless somebody did the dirty trick of putting used oil in here. I think that's what that is. I think that's used motor oil in there. So, no problem. I know a guy who burns waste oil. He's got a waste oil heater in his garage. And then here's another neat old can. Gunk SC Super Concentrate Degreaser for engines, machinery, metal parts, floors. Makes 2.5 gallons. Must be diluted. So, the original concentrate degreaser. I'm wondering if this has illegal chemicals in it that aren't allowed to be used anymore, because I've never seen this product. And the can's a little dented up, but like that. And then last but not least, I got this another rod, welding rod holder. Gasket actually still looks good on it. Can always use that. So that's that. And I'm going to put all this stuff away, and probably the next video you see, if it's not another Vernon video, it might be a flea market finds video, because I am chock full over here with some new acquisitions. So that's it for the South Bend series. So sweet Jesus. The top housing. Jesus Christ.